Hi girlies, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming back. This week's a little bit different. Wait, first let me get my liquid diarrhea. That'll put pep in your step. I didn't film a vlog this week because I'm a lazy piece of shit. I just wanted to switch it up this week and do a little get ready with me Q&A. The girls have questions. I'm here to dish out some big sis advice, talk about a few commonly asked questions or things that you guys have been wondering. I will also list the products that I use down below. You don't have to wonder what the fuck is going on my face. I did already do my eyebrows because I need to be like this in the mirror when I do them. First, like little life updates. Haven't talked to R.E.M, graveyard. Clayman, was that his name? Oh my god, Pottery Man, graveyard. T's being annoying. What else is new? You wanna say hi? Okay. Here's T being a little menace. Roster was restarting and I deleted Hinge because I was like, clearly my man is not on Hinge because I just don't want a regular man. I want a man who's not on Hinge. Who knows, he can just get girls IRL. So I did slide into a man's DMs. I hand selected him and he did respond. I hung out with him. Let's just say I'm not gonna make the same mistakes that I made with pineapple. So I'm still abstaining from sex. It's been hard. I'm cautious, keeping the bad bitch energy, take it or leave it mindset. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. Okay, and that's enough of that. Let's get into it. My first question, how do I always look tan? Okay, well, I'm Italian. That's another commonly asked question. I naturally have that complexion. I do get pale, but I'm always outside, guys, too. Like, constantly outside. I lived in Miami, so it's very hard to not be tan when you live in Miami. That's just that. I'm just outside a lot. This is probably the palest I've been in a very long time. I might have to start using self-tanner when it gets winter here because I hate looking pale. How am I adjusting to LA? I think the first couple weeks were kind of tough for me because I was comparing everything. I obviously am still making friends here and getting used to my new routine. A lot of things have changed. I think at first I was a little bit like, oh my god, did I make a bad decision? It was really cloudy the first 2 weeks I came here. I'm super affected by the weather, so I was like, I'm gonna get depressed here if it keeps up like this. Once we push past that though, there's just so many more activities to do here. I'm a lot more productive here and I like the nightlife scene because I've never been a big club girly. It's really nice that here people just do like restaurants, house parties, bars. Not that I've been to a house party yet, but I'm hoping. Halloween. Yeah, I would say I'm adjusting really well. I'm on month 2 almost. I'm not really missing Miami anymore. I try to avoid some of my friends' stories, to be honest, because it does make me sad. Of course, I miss Brickell Key. I miss my nice amenity apartment. My apartment here is nice, but it's not amenities. That's okay, like there's more to life than just going to the pool every day. Is there? I hope you guys are adjusting better too, because at first you guys were not adjusting very well to me moving here and it was making me sad. LA versus Miami, I mean, they're so wildly different. For one, nightlife is just so different. Yeah, there's clubs here, but Miami, everything's to the extreme. It's like 6 a.m. club, another club, strip clubs, crazy money, rappers. Like, Miami is just so on the extreme of the spectrum. LA is not like that. Definitely more wellness focused, more of a balanced lifestyle. In terms of like dating, I would say the men here are more my type, but they're also like kind of poor. Not like poor, but like, I don't know, I just think everybody in Miami is super flashy. I get used to disguise having like disposable income and not giving a fuck. What I say is people in LA try to big dick each other with followers. People in Miami try to big dick each other with money, specifically men. But the men here have been like I said, more my type, taller, great style. Well, the grind here in terms of work is harder and more fast paced. And like day to day, things are a little bit more slowed down, where in Miami, I think it's like more fast paced. The partying and like that stuff, and the day to day is a little bit more slow paced. Wait, no, I'm confused. I don't know, I guess it just depends where in the mix you are. I've met really great people here, but I can see what people are saying by people in like LA are, you know, a certain type of way. They're like fake, or they only care about clout when they only care about collabing. Like I could see where people get that from. I haven't really experienced it because I just don't surround myself with people like that. I think that's definitely more apparent here than it is in Miami, and LA is just so much bigger. It does suck in terms of like driving places. Like in Miami I never drove anywhere, but I also never left Brickell. So, and that's why I left, because it was just so small and there wasn't much to do outside of like partying, working out, and going to the beach or tanning by the pool. Like that was like pretty much all I did. How long has my fitness journey been? I grew up doing martial arts. It's like my family's business. My dad owns a martial arts school. My sister owns a kickboxing studio. Oh my god, the coffee is like getting to me, guys. I'm like my brain's going so fast I can't even get all my words out. There's always somebody sweeping outside and there's always an ambulance. Please hold. I grew up doing martial arts, gymnastics, horseback riding. I was always very active. I wouldn't even say like I ever had a fitness journey. I was the kid who was 6 years old and was ripped with a six-pack. That was me. I didn't grow up in like a super health-oriented household. I wouldn't say like we never went to the gym, because our gym was just going to martial arts, karate, and I would live at the karate school. Like I lived there. Just like take classes for fun. Like I would work out for fun, workout. I didn't feel like working out. It's like doing a sport. I was just doing it 24/7. Like I said, like my family wasn't really like health conscious. Like my mom cooked a lot of homemade meals, but it's not like she was like a granola parent or like an almond mom, like people say. I ate whatever I wanted, and I could, because I was working out so much. Until I got like a little bit older, more like self-aware and conscious of like that stuff, I have always just loved eating healthy. Once I started like feeling how it like fueled my body and made me feel, I just always leaned towards being healthy. Like I love getting into like a fat bowl of salad or like a bowl of vegetables. I just am that person. Once I went to college and started having access to a gym, and that was like my only thing because I didn't play sports, I started going to the gym. This is where things are like a little bit weird. My freshman year of college, I developed an eating disorder. I think it was just triggered by like me being surrounded by so many girls in my sorority who were just naturally very skinny, and just living with them and comparing yourself to them and seeing that every day, you're kind of like, oh, why don't I look like that? And then I think it was also combined with a lot of other things that were going on. And you feel out of control in certain aspects of your life. Eating is something you can control. It was something that I had control over. I'm really competitive. I'm the type of person, if I say I'm gonna do something, I do it, and I don't half-ass it. Like I go to the extreme. I started working out, I started seeing results, and I started really liking my results, and people started praising me. I just got caught up, and it turned into a game of like, how little can I eat? I know that sounds like weird, but let's say you have like this bowl of oatmeal that you love and you have like all the fixings on it. What if one day I just like remove that, then it became a problem. I was eating like a quarter of a granola bar as like my dinner. I didn't even realize it was weird until this guy who I was seeing in college said something. He was really like scared for me. After that, I started to realize that I had an issue. I'll always be thankful for him, like to him for that. I knew it, but no one vocalized it to me, and I think you don't really realize it. Like I looked at myself in the mirror and like still thought I was fat, even though I was like this big. It could like literally break me in half. After that, I transferred and went to school at UConn, and that was when I kind of just started to like find my balance again. I think it's something that I will always struggle with, but in terms of like fitness, I've always loved working out. I think now my journey is just being healthy and feeling good and fueling my body, finding balance. I still struggle with that. So I guess my fitness journey has been my whole life. That was my long-winded answer of saying my entire life. Have I lived with a significant other before? I had a boyfriend my sophomore year of college until we dated for 4.5 years. So wherever that lands me. But basically junior year, me and him went to Australia together, studied abroad, and we lived with each other in Australia for 6 months. That was like the closest I came to like actually splitting like rent with somebody and living with somebody full time. Me and him, obviously, when we were home for the summers together, I was basically living at his place. But in terms of sharing an actual apartment where both our names are on the lease, we broke up. No, not after. It went well, but obviously me and him aren't together anymore. It's weird sharing a space with a guy. He talked about wanting to move in together when we lived in the city together, and I was like, no. If we were to ever get a place together, I would need my own room. And he got a little bit offended by that. Okay, this one, Did I ever tell my situationship how I felt and that I wanted more? If you guys don't know, I guess we'll talk about it a little bit. My situationship was pineapple back in Miami. I wouldn't even call it a situationship, but I don't know. I guess it was. It was like 2 years of me and him like hooking up on and off, and just a really toxic situation where it was like neither of us wanted the other, but neither of us wanted to see the other person with anybody else. Well, actually no, I did want more. That was the problem. I was wishy-washy in terms of how I acted, because I would tell him one thing but act in a different way because I really liked him. Yeah, me and him had multiple discussions about it. I think what it came down to was the fact that I just didn't put my foot down because I liked him so much. So I would tell him like, hey, like I want more. And at the beginning I was really, really good about it, but I was still getting to know him. So I was like hanging out with him and hooking up. And then we just got into this like cycle, and he knew how I felt. I think he did feel a certain way about me. At least I like to believe that. I blocked him on and off a couple times. Just before I left and moved here, I unblocked him because I was starting to feel comfortable. And me and him had a discussion, and I was just like, he was like, I'll always support you and be on your side and be there for you, and you know, all this stuff. And I was like, I feel the same way about you. Like, I will always be here for you. I'll always, you know, care for you. He was like, okay, then like, why can't we like play nice? And I was like, I am. I'm just like, I needed my space. I needed my distance. He started to kind of wiggle his way back in a little bit. And before I left, he was like, do you want to come over? And I said to him, I was like, no, unless you are bringing something else to the table, I can't do this. I can't do this again with you. I don't want casual. I want something more with you, because we can't just keep doing this like back and forth forever. We're either dating, we're seeing each other and working towards something, building towards something, or we're not. And he was like, okay. And I reblocked him because it's gonna be the same thing, and he'll keep taking as much as I'll give him without commitment. And that's just not where I'm at right now. I can't do that again. I was like on the floor of my kitchen crying like multiple times. No one should just ever be in that position. Jordan's flushing the toilet. Feel you, girl. At no point should you be in fetal position on your kitchen floor crying over a man who never took you out on a real dinner date. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. I'm still healing from that, but we're doing good. My favorite Taylor Swift song. I've never been a Swiftie, guys. I'm sorry, but I actually am starting to like her more now. I wouldn't really say I have a favorite. That's an old one, but like everybody loved that one in high school. What am I most excited for since my move? Probably just, oh my god, I didn't plan that. Why didn't you guys tell me? Literally building a whole new life here and becoming the version of myself that I wanted to become in Miami. I had all these ideas and this great plan, and like wanting to do a podcast and build a name for myself and a brand for myself. I think in Miami, I just kept pushing it off. It was very easy not to do that stuff because I wasn't as motivated and surrounded by people who were also doing it and grinding. And my life was just very comfortable there, in that's terms of like, I was just comfortable. I was just having fun. Moving here, it's motivating me to pursue my dreams, because I'm surrounded by people who are doing the same. So yeah, I'm really excited to just like establish myself here, do my podcast. I'm doing my photo shoot for that next week, and just really have a fresh start here. Building like a real life where I feel like I can see myself settling down here. Moving to a new city and making friends. How do I do it? You just say yes. You just go to things. I was in a good position where like I live with Jordan and I've been here multiple times and I already have friends out here. So they introduced me to good people. Going to places that you enjoy, looking approachable, being open to conversations. I think a lot of the time we are really closed off. I see myself doing that sometimes where like I'll have my headphones on, or someone will start talking to me and I'll kind of be like, eh. Yesterday this guy came up to me at the beach and he was like, oh, like I just wanted to come over and say hi. And my initial instinct is to be like super annoyed by that, but you never know. And me and him just had like a really nice conversation. I try to just like lean into having conversations with people and connecting with people. And I think when you do that, you start to welcome in other people. You tell the universe like, I am open to meeting new people and new things and new experiences. And so I think just saying yes, staying open, not being afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to compliment somebody. What's the worst thing that happens? I think you need to start telling yourself like, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? They say thanks and then they turn around, or or they just like don't talk to me, okay, big deal. The gym, I've made a lot of friends. Going out with my friends who invite me, and even on some days where I like don't want to go, I just kind of force myself to. I've met amazing people that way. That's how you build friendships too. You have to, when you're an adult, it's hard. You have to make time for it. We all have busy lives, but even if it's like, hey, let's grab lunch next week, I've been really good at maintaining these connections by just being like, let's grab coffee, let's grab lunch, let's do this. I don't know, I think it's really easy to just like keep to your circle or to keep to your routine. And it can be really exhausting to go and grab coffee. Like sometimes you just like don't want to, but then I remind myself, there's been so many times where I didn't want to do something that afterwards I was so happy I did it. Sometimes, even though, yeah, it can feel like a chore, trek, or whatever, you just have to put yourself out there and you have to force yourself to do it. It's the only way to like build and maintain friendships. You need to put energy and effort into it. So that's what I'll say to that. You can't just expect to like meet people and be like, oh, all of a sudden we're attached at the hip best friends. Like you need to put effort into things. It's like dating. Like even now it's like I have to make an effort to maintain my friendships back in Miami and FaceTime my friends and call my friends at the same thing. Sorry if I was like off on a tangent, but this coffee is like really getting to me. I'm like literally out of breath. Now this is just some like relationship advice. We're gonna get into the relationship segment of this. Do I usually ask guys why they ended their last relationship? So do I do that? No, there's no reason to bring up significant others or like past relationships when you're just starting to see somebody. I think if they want to bring it up and talk about it, if they think it's something that may affect our relationship, then sure. But I usually don't ask about a guy's history or past. It's just a recipe for disaster and hurting your own feelings, honestly. Unless it's something that's going to affect me, I think, or they think, then I don't see a point in asking. I went on this first date once and he literally brought up his ex-girlfriend within like 2 minutes. Like I got into his car and he's like, no one sat in that passenger seat since my ex. And I was like, oh, okay, you wanna like talk about it? And I literally, it turned into a therapy session. I never talked to that man again, but he literally talked about his ex like for half of the date. That man just was not ready to start dating. I think there's nothing more unattractive than that. How do I get out of a pen pal phase with a guy who lives in a different city? To get out of the pen pal phase with anybody is literally just to stop responding. On Hinge, especially, if someone's just making small talk, I'll just stop answering. So I'm not there to make small talk. You either ask me out or you don't. We exchange a few messages, and then if you're asking me about like, how's your day going on Hinge, it's like, what the f are you doing here? I usually just stop answering and they'll get the hint, and then it'll show the people who are actually have intention to like meet you, or people who are just there to like chit chat and, you know, have time to waste, time to kill because they're fucking bored. I'm not like your entertainment. I don't text people who I haven't met in real life. It's just weird. I don't know if you've like met this person before. Somebody asked like this specifically, but I think if you're like talking to somebody who lives in a different city, I don't know how far away they are from you. First of all, you could just be open and honest and just be like, hey, like I've really enjoyed talking to you, but I would really love to, you know, spend actual like quality time with you. Do you think we could plan something? And maybe like send them like an event, maybe something like halfway. Maybe there's like a concert, maybe there's something you've been wanting to do. Maybe you want to go, like it's fall now, maybe you want to go to a pumpkin patch or a farm or do a haunted house. I think like sending something and just being like, hey, like I'd love to do this. Like I think it'd be really fun if we did this together, and see how they respond. But I honestly just think that like texting and all this stuff is such a waste. Until you like meet somebody, I don't think you should be putting all this energy into talking to them all the time. It builds like this like false connection to them, like this false emotional connection to them. People can be so different over text. Someone was like, how do I get a guy to stop just like Snapchatting me? Just stop answering his Snapchats. And then he's gonna realize he has to like text you to talk to you. Talking to guys who have a reputation for being a man-whore. So I actually can speak on this because I only talk to men who have reputations for being man whores. I just love a man whore man because I love a man who's a hot commodity in high demand. I want a quality man. I want a man who everybody wants but not everybody can have. I personally, I don't ask about people's past. Like I said, what you did before me is none of my business. What I did before you is none of your business. If I'm not asking him, he has no right to ask me, period. I think like go for it. You can only judge somebody based on how they treat you. Be cautious, of course. Maybe they're just a fuckboy. Maybe they're just not ready for a relationship. So obviously be cautious with that. I don't think you should be like, oh, I heard you've slept with this many people or you're this type of way, and just before even knowing them, make that judgment about them. Take everything at face value and judge them based on how they treat you, their actions towards you. I think if they're bringing up other people or girls in front of you, that's fucking weird and gross, and you should probably stop talking to them. Like if a guy were to like bring up other girls in front of me and he thought it was like cool or trying to make me jealous, that would ick me out. Don't bring up other girls in front of me. That would turn me off. I would stop talking to him. Man whores, sure, but they're treating you like you're one of the girls on the roster. No, thank you. My past situationship keeps liking my stuff and I have feelings for him. Should I text? This would be the third time rekindling. No.
Third time?
I think you have feelings for him because you haven't detached yet, or you haven't allowed yourself to heal from the situation, because clearly he's not blocked and you're still seeing his stuff and he's still seeing your stuff, and there's still that sort of connection and bond between you guys. And I think it's a lot easier to go back to an old thing than to release somebody and heal and build up a new thing. So I think like we always go to what's comfortable, and it sounds like he's somebody that you're really comfortable with. We know the result of going back to him. We've done it 3 times. So let's try something new. The things that are the hardest for us to do reap the greatest rewards and benefits. You grow so much more in these uncomfortable situations. I think you shouldn't text him. By the time this comes out, you may have already. So, so sorry about that. They make this a general thing. If you have a situationship who you still have feelings for and you've rekindled it a few times and it hasn't worked out, out of sight, out of mind, block. I'm the biggest fan of the block button. We love a block button. Protect that peace, close that door and chapter so you can allow new to come in, because the more you stay in that like old energy, it's lowering your frequency, the less opportunity for new people or experiences to come into your life. Release the old stuff to get new stuff. Last one. Started liking somebody who is moving away for a job. What do I do? Do I stay in touch? So the good part about this is that like you're just starting to like somebody, and I get that that's really hard, but like I don't know, it just depends. It's like, is this somebody who you would maybe consider dating and they would consider dating you? Because if that's the case, then yeah, like stay in touch, make efforts to see each other. But if this is just gonna be like, oh, I like him, he's moving away, let's keep talking, building this like pen pal relationship, and then like I'm gonna get my feelings hurt, then no. Like I think spare yourself. Again, I don't know the details. I don't know if they've been on dates before. I think you just have to trust your gut. The beginning stage of meeting somebody who you can feel their energy. I think in our heart of hearts, we know when something is gonna go somewhere and when it's not. And I think a lot of the times as like women, we kind of make excuses. Oh, but like maybe blah. Try and think about your gut feeling when you met this person and how they're communicating with you. If they're making like an equal effort to communicate with you and they're like, hey, I know I'm moving, but like I really enjoyed meeting you and like getting to know you, and I think I'm starting to like grow feelings for you, then it's like that person's showing that they care about you. And I think if there's like a means to an end, I think if there's like, okay, like let's plan this trip to see each other in like a month, then that's different than just like this person moving away for a job and you kind of like constantly trying to keep that connection to them and they're not. If there's equal energy and effort and admiration of each other, then sure, keep in touch. But if it was just like, oh, I met this person, I kind of like them, they're moving away, what do I do? It's like, let them move away. There's other people in your city, babe. Plenty of fish in the sea. You will like a lot of people in your time. I think that's pretty much it. This coffee made me feel... If you liked this segment, let me know. If you want me to do these regularly, let me know. Eventually this will be a podcast, but I feel like this was just fun to get ready with each other. It's still like a little light glam, nothing crazy. My hair is drying. I hope this was helpful. You learned a little about me. I learned a little about you guys. Again, I'm sorry I didn't do a vlog. I will do a vlog next week. Subscribe, comment, like. Don't be shy. I love you all so much. Oh, and like follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all the places, okay?